A little more than a month ago, an announcement was made online that I had been waiting for since I was a teenager. A Cube remake. Welcome to Vanessa Jupiter's sitting room. Today we are playing Bingo. This is Cube 2021 Bingo. When I want to make predictions or wishes for any type of media that I care about, I format it as a bingo card. This is going to be a healthy mix of predictions, things that I think will happen, and wishes, things that I hope will happen. In case you have no idea who I am Vanessa Jupiter, an internet, YouTube, self-appointed Cube specialist. I have made a deep dive into the themes of the 3 Canadian Cube movies. I am possibly one of the 20 people in the world who has spent the longest time of their lives thinking about Cube 2 Hypercube. I love Hypercube. In case you remember Cube 2 Hypercube as well as I do, you know that there's cannibalism in it. And what would you know? We are starting our bingo card with cannibalism. I hope, this is a wish, I hope we get some cannibalism in Cube 2021. Second prediction. Every Cube movie starts with a death. The main cast, the group of people who are going to congregate in the cube and try to find a way out together, they usually find the body of the dead person. It only did not happen in the original first cube. I think it's going to be happening here. Third, this is a wish and a big one at that. I don't want a non-speaking autistic character in this movie. The way that the non-speaking autistic character from the original movie, namely Kazan, was portrayed was awful, and I think it was already bad enough in the 90s. I think that nowadays it would be fully unacceptable to do an autistic savant the same way that Kazan was in the original Cube. A little clarification. I think that it would be really great to have an autistic character in any horror movie, really. I did a quick research about the actors from Cube 2021, and from what I found, none of them are autistic. I might be pleasantly surprised. I might have done something wrong in my research and there might actually be an autistic actor in the mix. This box in my bingo card, however, is specifically about non-speaking autistic characters. If there is one, I'm not going to be allowed to tick this box, but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily very upset with the movie. My fourth prediction is that there are still going to be characters being found around the middle of the movie. Fifth, I think we're still going to be having a doctor character, but this is not what the prediction is about. I think that the doctor character in Cube 2021 is going to start good and end the movie bad. 6, I think there are going to be no outdoor scenes. 7, if you have never seen the Cube movies, you might be surprised to know that there have never been an ultra-religious character in the Cube movies. This is a staple of the genre of survival horror of people trapped in a place. The Mist is possibly one of the most iconic examples of ultra-religious character in this type of context. We never had that in Cube, and I think we are going to get one in 2021. 8. If you remember Cube 1997, you know that there's a void scene. A scene where one of the characters is murdered by being pushed out of a window that leads into nothing. I think that we are still going to get a void scene. But I think that in Cube 2021, if someone dies in that scene, it's going to be either clearly not a murder, or it is going to be ambiguous. Murderless void scene. 9, whenever the characters wake up, they start theorizing about where they are. They ask themselves, is it God? Is it hell? Are we in a government space? Blah, 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 blah. I think that the first theory proposed by one of the characters is going to be that they are in a social experiment. Not necessarily with those words. Number 10, one survivor. No more, no less. Number 11, I think that the main character is not going to be the protagonist, just like in the first cube. 11 is quite inarguably the main character. She's the focus of the story. However, most of the themes, the character that is the actual emotional core of Cube 1997, it's not 11, but rather Worth. If there's a very clear divide in Cube 2021, I'm going to take this box. This is a complicated one. This might be a very, very subjective one. I assume that some people disagree with me here, that Levin is the main character but not the protagonist. That's what I think. If I can make the case that a similar thing happens in Cube 2021, then boom. 12! My most out there guess or wish is that I hope that someone starts crying and they sing something. Like, someone cries and sings at the same time. I really hope that that happens. I think that it would be cute. I think that it could be a very humanizing moment for one of the characters. We have reached the free space, which is my guess number 13. And my rule is I cannot win the bingo card if the free space does not come to fruition. So this needs to be something that I am 100% sure is going to happen. My free space for Cube 2021 is nihilism. I think that nihilism is going to be a big theme in Cube 2021, just like it was for Cube 1997 and for Cube 2 Hypercube, and not for Cube 0, because Cube 0 is the worst one. I'm sorry. I know that most people think that Hypercube is the worst one, but like, most people are wrong. I am the cube specialist, and I am saying Hypercube is the best one, and Cube 0 is the worst one. Number 14! I think that there is not going to be a murder. If someone kills someone else, it's going to be either self-defense or an accident. I think that the face heel turn of the first movie kind of badly handled. It is one of my main criticisms of the plot of the first one. Even though I do think that the Doctor is going to have a face heel turn, I don't think that the Doctor is going to be a murderous character. I think they are going to be evil. They might try to murder someone, but I don't think that they will succeed. Not even the cannibals will be murderers. So 15, death by acid, just like the opening stinger of Cube 0. 16, I think we are going to have a cop character. We usually have cop characters, and I think we're still going to have them, unfortunately. 17, I think that we're still going to have the sound-based trap scene that we had in the original Cube movie. In case you don't remember, there is a scene where all of the characters need to pass through a room without making any noises, otherwise they would activate the trap. And I think that a similar scene is going to happen in Cube 2021. I think that they will keep it. 18, virus or injection-based trap. Either they say the word virus and it's a guess, or it's an injection and somehow it's injected into someone's bloodstream. I think this is very unlikely, but I think it would be cool if it happened. 19. One of the characters is going to reminisce about how much they miss nature, specifically in the cube. I think that that's very likely, honestly. I don't know why. I have a hunch. 20. Whenever the traps are activated, there's going to be some type of light change in the room. Either the color of the light changes, or it gets brighter, or it gets darker. 21. This is yet another very common trope for groups of trapped people survivors narratives. Usually there's one character who starts hallucinating. Like, the plot is kind of disrupted by this one character who, like, literally cannot function anymore within the group, because they cannot tell what's real and what's not. Has never happened in the Cube movies, and I think that Cube 2021 might be the time for it to happen. Number 22. In the first movie, there is an ex-convict who shares the trick of sucking shirt buttons in order not to be thirsty, and I think that this is going to be kept. I think that the characters in Cube 2021 are still going to be sucking buttons. 23. The prime numbers are going to operate and exist within the plot and within the cube itself the exact same way as in Cube 1997. So you know that there are a few twists there if you've seen the movie already. I think that all of the twists are going to be the same. I think that there are going to be absolutely no surprises there. 24. First shot of the movie is going to be an eye-opening. Finally, my last wish. This is a wish, this is not a prediction. I think that this one is very, very unlikely to happen, in fact. But I really, really hope that we get a reference to one of the previous Cube movies. I don't know how this would work. The easiest reference that they could do would be to Reigns from Cube Zero, the person who escaped in Cube Zero. Someone who just kind of casually marathoned the 3 Cube movies like a month prior to having seen Cube 2021 should get the reference. It should be easy to get the reference. And I think it's very unlikely to happen. I think that this is more on the vein of like a big remake for like new audiences to get acquainted with the Cube movies or the Cube concept. I don't think that they are very likely to go there and make a reference to the previous movies because that would alienate some audiences. It wouldn't alienate me, and I would love it because I am a huge fan of the first 3 Cube movies. This is my bingo card. I hope you enjoyed seeing me fill up the bingo card. And I am obviously beyond excited for the release of Cube 2021. I cannot wait to see how I'm going to be watching this movie. If I get to watch it in theaters, I think I'll probably not bring the bingo card the first time that I go in theaters, and then I'll go a second time, possibly also to make a video about it, because like, come on, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about the Cube movies, and at every opportunity that I get, we are here to talk about the Cube movies. I'm very confident that I'll figure out something to say about the new Cube movie when it's out. Hopefully I'll be able to shout bingo at some point. If I see it in theaters, I won't. But I'll be very happy to know that I could. What do you think? Do you think that I'll succeed? Make your own bingo cards. Are you also Cube fans? Are you also Cube enthusiasts? Are you also self-proclaimed Cube specialists of the internet? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Is this what YouTubers do? Am I supposed to be doing this at the ending of every video?